Hail, good morning. Happy Thursday. I'm going to give it a second just for some people to jump on. This is the first time I've looked in the mirror, so that was how I noticed that I had a bunch of chicken dust. Not chicken dust, but like the dust from their scratch, which is like their warm-up treat in the morning on the side of my face. But I'm coming to you first thing in the morning. Well, it's 9:14, but it's first thing in my morning. So I'm just starting to look at what I can do with this. So hang on one second because I want to try something on my Facebook page while I'm waiting for folks to show up. I'm just sort of learning about the StreamYard platform, which is pretty cool. Hang on. Going live now. Oh, Facebook, catch up to me. Let's try this. Will it work? No, it won't. Invite. Oh, I see. That's why. Okay. I get it. Okay. You can't actually do that. This is to invite people to be guests. And that's not the kind of thing we're going to do this morning. So good morning. Say hi when you get on. Tell me how it is in your neck of the world. Tell me where you are. I love seeing where people are. And I just did an IGTV thing where I showed a message that a tree gave me first thing in the morning. I was super grumpy last night. I was so grumpy and like super sad and super sensitive. I know today is new moon in Aquarius, I think. But tell me how you guys were feeling last night. Did anyone else have a hard time last night? I was just like, well, I tell you what I did. Because I was so sad and distraught last night. It's over on the IGTV on the Britt Bolnick Instagram page. So go on over and give it a like and share it if it resonates with you. Good morning, Nanette, my faithful viewer. I appreciate you being here. Anyway, Nanette, did you have a really grumpy, sad night last night? Because I was just like, Sully was just like, all right, I don't know what to do with you. I just don't know. I feel like I'd get so much more empathy if there were like another wife in the house, like a 2-wife household. I feel like 2 wives, and then if you're straight, 1 man would be like a much better emotional balance for the women. Sully's just like, they're there. It'll get better. Okay. Anywho. So I want to talk about Thursdays because Thursdays are one of my favorite days of the week for a couple of different reasons. First of all, they are the manifestation of my tool of bending time. Yeah, right, Nanette? They are the manifestation, or they are a manifestation of my tool of bending time because they really exemplify the work-life balance that I intended to achieve. And they're sort of like this great living example of it. So Thursdays are a day, let me back up. 4.5 years ago when we decided to start Pity Posse, I was working 5 days a week then, like most people in my business, but still 5 days a week. I don't think I had yet moved to taking Fridays off. But now I take Fridays mostly off. Those are usually my day to do whatever I want with. But I hadn't. I was still working 5 days a week. And I didn't understand. So a dog rescue, if you haven't ever been in or around dog rescue, is an all-consuming, gaping maw of time and energy. Dog rescue doesn't sleep. There are no business hours. It happens, 24/7 is a little bit, our rescue doesn't happen 24/7. It probably happens about 18/7 though, right, Nanette? Nanette is is our Pity Posse pet pantry coordinator. She's amazing. She like holds the whole pantry and has grown it to, we're probably at almost 500 animals a month that we're serving. But it's probably like a 17 or 18 7-day a week thing. And for a long time, that stopped me from starting a rescue because I was like, I'm not going to like give up all, like every rescue worker that I knew gave up their whole life to rescue. There were no vacations, there was no other work, or if there was, they were absolutely exhausted and they did their work full time and then their rescue full time. Like, relationships suffered, health suffered, sanity out the window. And I just never wanted to do that. So when I reached a point where I knew that I had to start my rescue, shameless plug. It's hard to see it in the mirror, in the image. There we go. Okay. When I reached the point where I knew that I absolutely had to start Pity Posse, the question was really, how do I balance my time? How can I have my rescue and still take top care of myself? Because if I don't, I'll get sick. Top care of my kid. We decided to start Pity Posse Rescue on our honeymoon weekend. So obviously I'm factoring in nurturing a marriage, which is wicked hard and takes so much energy and time. So how could I do it? How could I do rescue differently? And so I'm going to talk about that a different time, how I actually started and grew the rescue differently. If anyone's interested in that, you can leave a message in the comments and tell me if that's something that you want to hear. But the first thing that I did, we made the decision in the fall to start Pity Posse. And I knew that I had permission to start it slow. It didn't have to be what it is today back then. But I also knew that that I didn't have time. I couldn't just be like, okay, boom, start a second business, which is essentially what Pity Posse is, a second business, at least in time and energy, if not in income. So it was the fall. And what I decided was that for the rest of the fall, I was going to take 3 or 4 hours a week to work on the rescue, much the same way I started In Arms coaching, actually. And then starting at the end of the year, I was going to bump it up to half a day towards the end of the year, right? So that gave me a couple months to really work 3 or 4 hours a week into my schedule. It gave me a couple more months to work in half a day. And then I decided, so it was September. It was the middle of September. I decided that starting January 1st, I would have my client care coordinator clear my Thursday calendars. So no clients could schedule with me. I didn't do any of the things for In Arms coaching that I normally do, group calls, writing, that kind of stuff. Starting January 1st, which by then was 3.5 months away, nothing would get put into Thursday, and Thursday would become a rescue day. And because we were working 3.5 months ahead of ourselves, there was nothing in Thursdays for January at that point. So we cleared Thursdays for Pity Posse. And that enabled me to kind of work into it. And so Thursdays have become this day where I don't have any In Arms coaching work. I don't have much stuff for me. I have kickboxing at 5, but that's the end of the business day. And my whole Thursday is rescue work. And the way that it's balanced out, unless we have something really pressing, which we kind of do right now, and that's to be revealed, unless we have something really pressing, Thursdays have become my sort of dreaming and vision day to just do passion-based work. So it means that I don't have to get up early. If I get up early sometimes when I've slept well. If I haven't slept well, I just let myself sleep in. And I mean, that means till 8. But I let myself sleep in. I get up. There's a lot of stuff to do around here. I just made an IG TV video about it. There's a lot of stuff to do around here. I get my coffee. I put a lot of cayenne in it. And then I just come over to the computer and I curl up in my favorite chair, or I sit here so I can watch the chickens. And I do Pity Posse work. Today, that means that I'm working on some behind the scenes stuff. Today is rare in that we have 2 meetings because we have something really awesome cooking. But we have actually 2 in-person meetings today, which we don't normally. I'm doing a lot of talking with my husband because we're working on something. But it's just kind of a day to focus on what I love and growing it. And then it's followed by Friday, which is my day. And often what I'll also do is I'll usually go into my groups because I don't want to leave my clients alone for 4 days a week. So usually I'll go into my groups and when I first wake up, I've noticed I have a lot of bandwidth for other people. So that's the time where I like to answer client emails. I have 3 different groups, 2 for my programs and Sacred Biz Rebels, which some of you are watching this in. And I really like to just go in there and be present and answer questions, get to any stuff that they need to get to before I go off for the weekend. And then I just kind of roll into pity posse stuff. So it's become a really delicious day. And the important thing is that one of the tools that I really utilized to make this happen was not getting sucked into all or nothing thinking. Like, I realized that I could start pity posse, but I had to start it small and I could work up to the amount of time that I wanted to be spending in there. And what that also meant was that for that first year, well, I mean, for like always, but especially for that first year, I had to be really mindful. Good morning, Sabrina. I had to be really mindful about what I was accepting on my plate. Like, I've gotten really, really good at filtering out things that don't feed either in arms or pity posse or, my personal life. I've gotten really good at saying no. I've gotten really good at putting up boundaries. These are all things that I'm talking about in my upcoming book, which will come out at the end of April, beginning of May, whose title is loosely The Magic of Bending Time in Your Sacred Work. But that's one of the reasons why I love Thursdays. So I really encourage you to look at the things that you're not doing and see what it would look to just like dip a toe in them. See what it would look like to carve out like 30 minutes a week for it right now. I mean, most of us can find, if it's important to you, most of us can find 30 minutes a week. And maybe in 2 months, it's 60 minutes. And maybe, starting in the fall, it's half a day. But you really, if it's important to you, and that's why that decision and that pulse taking is so crucial. If it's important to you, you can make time for it. And my book will tell you how. So, all right, that's all for today. Thank you so much for listening, and I'll see you tomorrow. Have a great day.